All right, boys. Let's talk about the Xbox deal. Let's talk about that.
Man, this did not take long.
Nope. Microsoft jumped on this.
Brother, you ain't lying.
They went, Nintendo.
I've never seen a company follow behind so fast.
Dude, no joke.
Nintendo raises, I call.
Yeah. So Xbox this week, man, went through a lot of price hikes. In terms of game prices, first party games. Some first party games will be going up to that $80 price point later this year, but all hardware went up as well. Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte is now going to be $380. The Xbox Series S 1 terabyte's now $430. And then here is some big ones for you. The Xbox Series X digital is now $550. The Series X is now $600, and the 2 terabyte Galaxy is now $730 freaking dollars.
That's not the important stuff. Keep reading.
I know. John's upset about this next one. So the basic controller is still $65. Special edition controllers have now been bumped up to $80.
You
limited
bitches.
limited edition controllers are now up to $90.
Bitches.
Coming from the controller collector. The Elite Core is still $150, and the Standard Elite is now $200.
Legitimately, you sent a message that they had, you're like, they're bumping up prices. I looked it up and I saw like control. I literally scrolled through everything. I saw the word controller and I went, oh, you motherfuckers. I just ordered another one too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not surprising. We knew someone was going to follow suit on this, right? I will say
You
some
forgot wireless headsets are now $1.20 or $120.
Yeah, $120. I think they were like $110. So everything went up at least like $10, with the exception of the consoles going up like either anywhere from like $80 to like $120 more, which is crazy. Because now it's like, dude, the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte, like it's cheaper than a PlayStation 5 Pro, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, that like if you take out the PS5 Pro out of the equation, I mean, Xbox Series X is still like the strongest console in the market. Like it's stronger than the PS5, just barely. But you put the Pro back in, the Pro is the top dog. But it's still just like, dude, you're looking at like a 5-year-old console now up to $600 for it on a dying brand, by the way. And that's also something I wanted to chat about. I wanted you guys' thoughts on this because obviously with the Switch 2 thing.
Which one is that?
Doom.
Oh, did you get the Doom one?
Nice.
Did you buy it?
Yeah.
Because that is sick.
That's arriving tomorrow.
So they have the standard controller for the Doom. They have an Elite Doom. The standard one looks so much better, in my opinion, because for me, it's the buttons being like symbols from like Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think
when you
sent it to me initially, I think you sent me the Elite one.
I sent you both.
I clicked on the Elite one first, and I looked at it and I went, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's
and I just ignored it, and then it was like a week ago, I got an article came up talking about it, and I went, that is not what he sent me. And immediately bought it.
Dude, it's sick. I want it too. But no, I want you guys' thoughts on this because I was also talking to Josh about this. Just my own personal theory on the price hikes and like the reception for it. Because obviously with the Switch thing, there was all the live streams being spammed with drop the price, and everyone like losing their shit at $80, everyone thinking the console is too expensive, which I think the console price is fine, but whatever. But everyone losing their shit about it, right? And now this happens, and I'm seeing some people like throw out little comments like, okay, everyone, keep the same energy. Let's keep the same energy. Let's make some noise about Xbox now. But it's like there's barely any noise.
There's
My
a
theory,
key difference.
I do agree because, like, for me, my idea of the key difference personally is that you have a very desirable console and a less desirable console. That's my personal take on it.
That's not my key difference.
That's my key difference.
My key difference is this is Xbox.
Question. When you say, is the desirable one the Switch 2 or is it the Xbox?
The Switch 2 is the desirable one.
Okay.
Yeah.
General consensus.
Yeah, the general consensus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, my key point is one of them is Nintendo, where people are going to still buy it. They're going to be angry about it, but they're still going to buy it.
True. We saw how the pre-orders went.
The other one is it's Xbox.
Yeah.
And
Easy to clown.
we're talking like the $80 games, are those going to be the first party Xbox games, right?
Yes.
First party Xbox games show up on Game Pass day one.
True.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Is the expensive games, if you have Game Pass, you're still going to be able to play.
Which no price change to Game Pass right now.
Yeah, it's like as long as they don't start doing the thing where the games don't show up on Game Pass day one, because that's been their whole promotion. It's first party Microsoft games are day one Game Pass.
Yep.
As long as that continues, there's going to be less uproar from Microsoft doing it, because
People can buy the console.
it's
Then
like people don't necessarily buy Xbox games; they just play them on Game Pass
True.
for the most part these days.
True.
Which is why I could see Xbox being like, well, we can raise the price for the few people that do actually buy the games.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of like the lack of discourse for like the console stuff, legit, like what I said about the desirability aspect, man, I was literally seeing people who are like Xbox players, even comments like, "Well, it wasn't selling anyway."
Yeah,
now it's really not going to sell.
That was what I was going to say. It's like people being mad about the Xbox price hike. It's like, well, you either have one or you weren't buying one anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. So like that's why I don't think there's a lot of massive discourse on this. Like, because it's like it wasn't selling anyway. Now, once Sony follows suit, because they will eventually. Once they follow suit, I think there will be some discourse on that one, because PlayStation is a very desirable console, to the general consensus of the community. But I think why there is such a lack of discourse compared
I find
to the
that
Switch,
hard to believe when you're one of the people of going, "Hey, you should go buy PS5." Hey, go buy PS5. Because there's a lot of people who I know have PS5 to go, "Hey, you should go buy a PS5. How much is it?" "Oh, it's this price." "You should still go buy it though."
Right. It's just one of those things where it's like, as we've talked about on an endless amount on this show for years now, it's just PlayStation won the console wars between them. Yeah, that's just what it is. So it's like, it sells more. We see the sales numbers on the PS5 and what it is and the player counts and everything.
It's weird to say, but I think if Sony was the first one to do it, there'd be less discourse overall.
Really? I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Probably.
Just because Sony has been in so highly regarded with their their games that have come out and everything. It's like, because I mean they're the ones right now that everybody's got PlayStations because they have the exclusives everybody wants to play.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one where if they did it, I think there would have been, if they were the first ones to do it, I think there'd be less uproar with it. But because Nintendo doing it, it's like,
Didn't
okay,
expect
well,
the kind of thing.
it's like you're doing it, but you're also like, the games that you're going to be charging $80 for are going to be like an 8-hour experience, whereas the ones Sony are going to charge $80 for are probably going to be, it's like a lot of those are going to be like 30-hour games that are going to be Game of the Year contenders.
Right. And meanwhile, Nintendo does it for Mario Kart. Still mad about that. Still mad about it.
Then you got Xbox just wanting to be included in the conversation.
Yeah, and that's their quick way to do it. Now, I will say, once Game Pass prices, get a potential hike up, I think there's going to be a little bit of conversation around that. I mean, we just had a price hike, I think last year.
Yeah,
and we just had a price hike last year, where now like the 3-month plan's like $50 now, which is what I do.
Yeah, I mean, I have Game Pass right now. When I'm done with like Expedition and that, and then when I'm done with Expedition, I may start playing Oblivion like fairly soon afterwards. But once I finish those, there's not gonna be anything on Game Pass that I need it for.
Yeah, at least for a little while.
For a little while, because I have it, and it's like, when I have it, I download and play stuff. When I don't have it, I wait for a couple big hitters to come in, and then I get it again.
Right. I just keep mine on go. Just because there's. I do play a lot of Xbox. I like Game Pass. Game Pass is great. I enjoy it. But no, once Game Pass gets in their price up, I think there's gonna be a lot more conversation. But I think you really did hit on the head of like, okay, yeah, these first party games are gonna be 80, but if it's as long as it's on Game Pass, we're good. As long as you don't change your Game Pass strategy, we're good. But
they've already made it confusing.
Yeah, right.
They've made it confusing to buy Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, you ain't lying though. That boy, oh boy, did Xbox fall along with Nintendo very quick. You ain't lying on that one, brother.
I feel like it only took as long as it did because they had to make sure that they had to make sure that all their website, everything, and all they sent out all the emails going, okay, everything's going up. We got to make sure everybody knows it's going up, and then we can just say that it happened.
Right. Well, I will say the console stuff going up the way that it is further marks the end of I feel like we're further approaching that end of Xbox as a brand, as we've talked about, like with the whole like Phil Spencer having his title changed ahead of Microsoft Gaming and stuff. I'm still very firmly in the boat. There's going to be at least one more generation for Xbox with hardware, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think we're coming to a close. In my opinion, because this is not going to help sales at all. Obviously, sales are going to be even more dog shit than they've already been, unfortunately, which sucks because they make such great hardware. But then we go through, every year it's like this is the year of the games. This is the year of the games. That's how we felt last year. Great showcase last year. But then it's like when the showcase got announced, you're the one who made the comment where it's just like, I feel like we're just going to see a lot of the same games this year that we saw last year because everything got, and that's always the problem with Xbox. Like, well, this is the year. It's not the year. This is the year. This year, it's not the year. So it's just an unfortunate battle.
Well,
for
it's
Xbox.
like last year, some of the big games that we saw. I mean, now we've gotten to play.
Yeah, like Expedition, which not an Xbox
like
title,
Expeditions,
but you know what I
like
mean.
South of Midnight.
Yeah,
like you guys really enjoyed.
Mhm.
But it's stuff like that where it's like Xbox finally started putting on good showcases, but it's like it still takes a year and a half to see any of those games, and half those games we still don't see.
Yeah, the payoff for it. And I am in the boat with you where I think a lot of the stuff we're going to see at the showcase this year is going to be a rehash of some of the stuff last year. So I don't know. Would hate to see Xbox go away as a brand because competition is good. But I do see a road, if not next generation, but the generation after that, the only hardware we'd have would be PlayStation and Nintendo. I do see that as a possible avenue, and Microsoft just becoming like taking the Sega route. Just like we're just going to focus on making great games. That's that. I see that as an unfortunate possibility.
They can't take that route because we don't have a list of games for Microsoft to do that with.
What do you mean?
They don't release anything.
Sooner or later they will. Come on.
Well, you've
Until
been
then-
saying that for 7 years.
I know.
You
that's the
literally
problem.
just downcast your own thing of saying. I mean, in terms of what you're saying, are we going to see Xbox disappear as a brand? Quite possibly.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're just going to completely disappear from hardware. I think they're just going to label it Microsoft Gaming.
Right.
What we've seen from like rumors and reports that's what it's being referenced as in-house.
Yeah. It's like, well, what hardware would you make then? I mean, Xbox is the recognizable brand. Would you just rename? Would you make just a new piece of box?
That's what we've talked about before. They're going to make a generic box, and they're going to call it. It's going to be a generic box
to play Game Pass.
Yeah,
Just be called like Microsoft Home or something like that.
Right. I think that's a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
But then they would just make it Microsoft Home Games.
Hey, don't be surprised if you see a Microsoft Steam collab for hardware. Don't be surprised if that happens too.
I wouldn't be surprised if literally they just named whatever their generic box ends up becoming Game Pass.
Right. I mean that's a good possibility as well.
So that when you think of Game Pass, you think of the box that it comes in.
True. That is a possibility.
That's at this point that's all Xbox is. It's Game Pass.
Yeah, that's their
It's
MO.
Game Pass in the medium that you play it in.
Mm-hmm. However you play it, even if it means playing it on your smart TV built in.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I mean, it's like that's like Xbox for me right now it's my PC because that's where I play all my Game Pass games.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I played the last few of them. That's where I'm playing Expedition. Where I'm going to play Oblivion. It's like my Xbox is there for if I want to download something and play it while I'm like reclined back in my chair.
That's where we'll play Half-Life 3.
That ever happens. One day, maybe.